No, iba a decir esto tu pelo y digo, es el pescado.
Es el pescado,
Yeah,
sí,
es
sí,
el
pues.
pescado. Okay, bueno. Okay, all right. Hello, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I have my mom here to bring her into my podcast today, Philosophia. If I still end up keeping that name, I don't know yet, but we'll see. I kind of wanted to bring her on here to basically kind of like see what would kind of get your side of things when I was out traveling, like having a daughter out there traveling alone. I can't even imagine what it would have been like for a parent. So I thought it would be a cool perspective on how that would be. So, how are you doing today, Mother?
Oh, very good. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. We're very tight in here, but we're making do. Alrighty, so did you want to introduce yourself? Maybe say some things about yourself and what?
Okay. Yeah, I have three children. Sophia is the oldest one, and I have Renzo, middle one, and Lucas. There's almost 1 and 2 years apart. So they are all three different. And so my husband also, we married and moved to Canada when I was 27, and so we had the family together, and then now so we came to Florida. So this is everybody is different, so this is something I would like to participate because it's an adventure for all of us, and so I'm honored to be here.
Oh, thanks, Mom. That's so nice. Alrighty, starting with the first question. What was your first initial thoughts because I remember when I first came to you and I told you what I was going to do after I spent some time deciding that I was going to do this. I first went to her. I remember walking into her room and telling her that I was thinking of this idea. So I wanted to get your viewpoint on what when I said that. What were you thinking?
Okay, so but can I tell you a little bit before that happened?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I remember that the first conversation we had, that the first idea was to travel to all the provinces in Canada, and I think it was excited, and then we came up with, okay, so just rent a short rental for 1 day and 2 days, and then continue traveling. I don't want to name what is the name of the site that you can be able to rent for a short time, and that's what is the first idea. And I think that was excited because I use those sites so much, and I'm happy. But she came up to me, and 2 days later, and she said, I don't feel comfortable to do that because I heard so many things happening, videos, and I would be by myself, and then people put it cameras, and I heard so many of those sites. So, and then she came up to me, and I said, okay. For me, that was the end of it. And then when she came up to me and then told me to live in the car, I said, okay, but you are going to buy SUV or so. And they said, no, my car. And so, and I said, but are you okay? Especially Canada, that sometimes winter, is very scary to drive at night, and with the snow and the weather. I was so concerned, and then how I will get in contact with her because living in a house is different, and then how she's gonna have probably no internet on the way. So there are so many things that happen, and then I started investigating with my friends, and then they gave me the site that I can locate it without her knowing, or not knowing, but
The GPS thing.
the GPS things, right? So I don't want to name the names, what the site, but that's what we use. and I start practicing, and as long as she has his phone with her, I will know where she is. And then I start having that my anxiety level was going down when I start investigating what she will be doing. And
So you were anxious when I told you this.
definitely I was very anxious. I didn't expect that. Um, because how you're gonna take a shower, how you where you're gonna eat and make food, especially you that you are extremely particular. Because me, I'm so easy. I just grab a few things and I put it together.
She
And
can literally eat the same thing every single day.
yeah,
No matter, like, there doesn't have to be any flavor. She just eats for sustenance. I am more like, I have to cook. I need spices.
yeah,
I'm enjoying my food.
yeah. You really like to cook, and I don't. So I like to bake, but not all the time. It's just for a special event. So, and then for me, as long as it has a protein and it has, I could definitely, what she said, I could grab the vegetables, fruit and things like that, and yogurt, and for me that's fine. um so, and that's what I said, how you're going to manage knowing that you really are very into it. And in terms of routine, you are very strict on your routine, so how you're going to manage that? And how you're gonna plug in all the stuff, how you're gonna charge.
She was thinking about my job, especially.
Yeah, your job, so how, because in Canada it's okay with the internet, but you have more than, not only a phone. You're gonna have, a cookie, like cooking make, like, to make things,
Yeah,
like
like
pot,
adding
electrical.
things that have to be charged.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what the concern. And yeah. And so we started working together. And the other thing was to tell your dad.
Yeah, that was the other big thing. Well, but we'll get to a little bit later. So yeah, so initially when I did tell her, she always tries to, like, she doesn't say no to me, or doesn't, like, she's always been kind of open in that sense. So she always tries to explore a little bit more so that she has a better understanding before saying officially no to something, or she doesn't think it's a good idea. So when I first told her, she was first trying to say, "How about you do the Airbnb?" And then I was looking up what the price is, and I was like, I don't think it was worth it to me. And as she was saying, I did tell her I kind of felt uncomfortable living at other people's houses that I don't know. Maybe, like, there's just like small things that I like, the cameras, or who knows, like someone can know where I'm living for a couple of months or something like that. So that to me didn't feel safe in my own sense. So I wasn't comfortable with that. But it did take a first couple of I think probably the first couple, because like I told you, and then like the day after I said I'm gonna do it. Like it just sounds very plausible. And I was bringing up to her some things that, like, her concerns, the charging, the cooking thing. That I was gonna, I found solutions. So it was about the power bank, and then I think I found online the kettle, the hot water, that it didn't end up working later, but whatever. So there was other ways. I was just finding solutions, and she was also helping me out find some solutions as well. So it was a team effort, I would say, in the beginning, and then just to once we got all the information, then we were ready to go and tell my dad that's what I was gonna do. That I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
But okay. So what was your biggest fear for me in the beginning that has changed over time?
To lose your contact, like, so to
Lose connection?
lose connection. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my fear. And then also, what if someone, try to, touch your car, or you have an accident, or what, you're going to be by yourself, or try, to steal something from you, and then you're alone. So how we are going to, ask for help. So at the beginning, that's was my first fear. Even though I am concerned when you're trouble alone,
You still are?
When it's a long distance, when you're coming from Canada to Florida, which is a long hours, and then sometimes you have to, especially with I know because we have done so many times, and then some there are areas that mountains and
She's scared of heights. This is why.
yeah, and then I know how you drive. It wasn't the best vehicle, to be honest with you. It wasn't the safest, even though daddy tried to help you with that. But you know there are other vehicles that they were like in terms of driving in a with the snow.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. But that's what my and then over the time I realized that you getting to know the vehicle, you getting to know how to fix things, or to ask for help, to go to the mechanic, because also going to the mechanic, is usually, I don't know, usually, I don't do it by myself. So that's why everything that I lack on, I pass it on to you, like, oh, probably you will do the same thing with me, and then you are the different person, so you manage different things by yourself, which is, I'm so proud of it. But I was concerned at the beginning about those, how you're going to resolve the things by yourself, when daddy was always, a backup plan when we were around,
Yeah,
to help
especially with
you
the car.
with, yeah, and oil change and things like that, to
Yeah.
remember, or yeah, so especially with that, and that's what I was concerned too. But and especially where you want to sleep. So it's gonna be safe, because I'm thinking about, oh, she's gonna sleep around all the truck,
Truck stops,
the
gas
stop, a
station.
gas station, or which is sometimes they are not very nice and not safe and no light, in the middle of nowhere. So that's what I was concerned. But then you start telling me that there's special spot, and then you start showing me the spot, and then the people are doing it, and then I start following those people, to see, to decrease my anxiety, to see that other people are doing and how they resolve the problems.
Yeah, she got so anxious. Well, both our parents at a certain point, but she especially got very anxious. That I even at the beginning I had three GPSs. It was one was an AirTag that didn't really work really well. The second one was another app, like the purple one, that worked really. It still works really well to today. And there was
Yeah.
another one. What was the other one? Oh, they bought like a little like a Bluetooth.
Apple. Yeah, they are
No,
the Bluetooth.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. We bought it. Yes.
That at the end of the day, it wouldn't work unless I had connection. Like it was a weird, like it was. I don't know. It wasn't
Yeah,
very.
and then sometimes I called you. Oh, you're not connected.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. So we ended up like using the phone.
Yeah, exactly. So the phone was the best one. I also like, I mean, whenever I was going to a new place, in the beginning, the first year, I don't think I called you every day, but the second year I did, well, almost every other day. So it was like a lot of like check-ins and where I was and how I was doing. She was basically like, I'm alive, like,
Yeah.
and we had like a secret code if anything like were to happen or something was fishy. I don't know, what was it again? We'll change it. But what was
Yeah,
it?
we change it all the time.
Well, this one was I think banana con dulce y leche.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what it was. I was like,
Yeah,
what's the code?
yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. Okay.
And then also daddy was, so because he go to sleep very
Oh
late,
yeah.
and then so I check during the day, and then he check at night where you were, and then he was telling me, he was reporting it to me and say, oh, she stayed there for a couple of days, in the same spot, so tell her to change it, because people can follow her or whatever.
Yeah.
So they all the time a conversation. um and then we were checking the city, we were checking the area, on Google you can see the surrounding areas, how safe it is, and then check it out the city, how the crimes, the so everything that we check that probably you don't know, but we check all the
Yeah.
time.
I assumed you did that. Because there was even times that like she wouldn't say that she does that, but there were even times that I was traveling and then she's like, "Oh, there's this near this. Like, did you see that?" And I was like, "No, how did you see that?" She's like, "Google." Like, okay.
Yeah.
So it was a group effort. I think it's a group effort. Um, so what were some moments that you felt proud but scared at the same time, and can you describe a moment?
Oh, I was so proud when you reach, so you reach so many cities, and I said to my friends, I travel with her because every time you go to a museum, or every time you discover a new view, animals, or it was amazing. But I remember the day and the time that I was with my friends at the birthday party, and I was checking on you all the time because I know that you were about to be close to the center of Canada. And I was telling my friend, she's about to get in, she's about to, arrive, and then when she arrived and then she took a picture, she called me, Mom, I got it, I got it. So I was so happy, and I said, wow, it was one of the goal that you have. When you reach your goal, you have a goal to go to specific places, but especially that one I remember, and I won't forget. And the other one I remember, that when you went to Virginia, no,
Victoria Island.
Victoria Island, and then you have to leave the car, and how you cross how you cross on the
Oh, the ferry with the
on the
car.
ferry.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was amazing, and I traveled with you, and I said, oh my god, this is amazing. So we didn't know about it, and then you can take your car, and then I feel safe that you do that, and then because you're gonna stay a couple of days, and then you plan ahead. So I'm so proud of how you plan ahead everything, and then where you can take a shower, where is the safe place, so you also investigated before you stay there and sleep, and then how you manage, especially when you have different type of routine, how you manage your new routine and you keep it, and then you did exercise, you did, so you kept it very well. I'm so proud of that you never stopped going to the gym, to try to eat healthy, as much as you can. Yeah, and take your time off as well, to go to places and spend the money as you want it, because that's what your goal.
True, true. I think the Manitoba, like the center of Canada, was a really important part because it was officially the first province that I was visiting. So I was, for those who don't know, Manitoba is right beside Ontario, and the center of Canada is kind of like a little bit over when you cross the border. So I was headed to Winnipeg at that moment, so that was why I was passing there. So it was officially the first province I was going to go see,
Mm.
and I did end up passing the center of Canada. There was like a little stand or there to go take a picture. I just passed by it because it was just like, for me it was just like, okay, I passed by it, cool, whatever. But she was like looking at it in the map, and like she was with her friends. It was just like a really funny moment, and I was like, yeah, I did pass the center of Canada. I did do that. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was funny. Um, so how did you cope emotionally with the lack of control, not knowing where I was all the time, what might happen?
To be honest with you, I mostly,
Prayed.
yeah, I pray, but also for me, my create a plan. So what if it's an emergency and I have to call 911? What I'm going to tell, right? So that's why we try to know where exactly she was, because the street or nearby, or I'm at Walmart at that particular city, so, and then the plane number, and so I try um, to to think about that, what I'm going to do, at any time. And also I have my phone with me. So now when she's with me, I don't care. And sometimes I even turn off the phone at night because I don't want anybody to bother me. But when she's traveling, so I have my phone with me all the time because she can call me. And sometimes you did it, you call me at night when, especially when you were in Vancouver, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was moments that you were scared, and then I was scared, and then that's why we say, leave that place, leave the area when you were running because of the
The
parking
parking.
ticket.
Oh my god.
And then when we were talking, and then someone tried to open the car when we were talking on the phone, and then you said, look, I was so scared, and I said, we never experienced that because in Ontario we never had that situation. um so, and then I was so proud that she said, Mom, you guys always live in a place that we never had any problem. You always look for a nice neighborhood. You always look for, I can see the world now. And then I said, oh wow, that, as if parents, to your that your daughter will tell you that, I was proud to hear that.
What the moment that she's specifically talking about, honestly, I think we were both traumatized at that moment because it was so impactful. And it just, we were not expecting for that to happen. I was in the center, like in the downtown of Vancouver, and I was coming back from a museum that it wasn't that good, but I was just coming back, so I left my car in a parking garage, I believe, yeah. And as I was like in my car and I was changing my shoes because I was coming, like I had my out shoes until I was changing my other shoes, the more comfortable ones, because I was like headed home to sleep. And as I'm changing my shoes again, my windows are tinted and my door was closed and my car wasn't on, and I was like videoing her. No video, or no, I think it was just a call. I don't know what it was, but whatever. She didn't see anything. Yeah, it was probably just a call. I was like calling her and I was just telling her about like the experience I was having in Vancouver. I was not having the best time, honestly. It was like 2 months of full rain, so it was already as shitty as it was. And as I was changing my shoes in the car and talking to her, someone, and my car was not locked, so some homeless person or whatever in the parking garage, and thankfully, my car was in an angle, so the driver's side was on the downward angle, and the person trying to open my door was on the up angle, on like the passenger door, and they couldn't open it. And they tried opening it while I was in there, and I was like so shook, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" Like, trying to open my door. I started yelling, and my mom's like, "Sophia, put the camera on. I have to see what's happening." I was like, no, mama, they just left. Like, they tried opening my door, and then, like, honestly, we both ended up crying, like, 2 minutes later. It was like, was just like, she's talking about the moment, like, I was telling her how, like, appreciative I was about living and growing up in Ontario, because Vancouver is not it for me. It is not. Like, Vancouver itself was not. There's other places that I did enjoy, like, she's talking about Victoria Island, Vancouver Island, oh my god. We
Yeah.
keep doing that. Vancouver Island, because we both, like, I really loved it, and I was showing her videos about that. So it was a really, like, Vancouver, BC itself was a very, like, it was a lot. It was a
Probably in the
lot.
areas that you were, so probably
Yeah,
in the downtown, and
yeah.
probably in those areas that we can say that all the province is like that is because I have friends that they live there, and you have a friends also live there,
Yeah.
right?
But
But
they don't live in the downtown.
downtown,
That's the
downtown,
thing.
probably
Yeah.
downtown, yeah. And certain areas also, every city has, every province has their own areas. I would
But
say that if we talk specific some areas in Toronto also, they're not
yeah, I
the
mean, but
nicest one.
it's not as bad as Vancouver. There were so much homeless people. So much. I never seen so much in my life, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's because of the weather. You don't see it
Yeah.
in Ontario. You don't see it in Toronto because of the weather. I always say that, because they can be outside all year long, and
Yeah.
in Ontario you can be outside all year long because minus 30 degrees.
You're done.
Yeah, so that's why they have backup plan. They have places for them to sleep and everything, so they are not like free to be outside. And yeah, But yeah, that was scary. But you managed very well. You managed really well. So uh, you told the security, you left.
Yeah, I did do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, and he didn't even care.
Yeah, so it's
He
very
didn't
common.
care.
That's not the only thing is common. Yeah.
Ah. And funny enough, after that happened, 2 times after that, someone, I can tell that they were about to do the same thing, but I put the lights on or something, and they turned around, like it was just.
Yeah, and it happened that it was also you remember there was a shooting when you were there,
Yeah,
a big shooting.
it was, yeah,
Uh,
the week after I left, there was a shooting.
yeah,
Yeah, and it would
and
have
you
been something that I would have gone to because it was a Filipino festival, and I love Filipino food. So my mom was like, if you stayed there, you would have gone. And she's like, I'm so glad you trust your intuition because I was telling her I have to leave. Like I have to leave right now. Like I'm leaving. And she's like, are you sure you want to take your time? Da, da, da. And I was like, nope. I feel it. Gotta go. And then the week after that
yeah,
happened.
you're right.
Yeah.
And because we were worried about the weather, and we want for you to stay in Vancouver because the weather is nice, and then if you start traveling it will be cold for you and then for traveling. And that's what, but he said no, I don't mind. And then so I'm glad that you follow your instinct.
Yeah, me too. I'm alive.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what another one. Okay. Do you think traveling alone has changed me, and if so, in what ways?
Yeah, you are more independent.
Than before.
Yeah, more independent than before. You were all independent all the time independent, but this time, I can see that you enjoy the life by yourself longer period of time. So you have so much things to do, that, for example, one of the things here that you're doing, so you're always thinking about how you can share with others your experience because you found uh, the way that you're living very excited.
Gain so many skills and knowledge of how to
Yeah,
live this life.
exactly. That is that you're thinking about going to another part of the world, doing that. And so you have goals and you have dreams, and I think you didn't have it before, as much as you have now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like nobody stopped you. That's what I feel. So
And I have people against me. I have people saying no.
yeah,
yeah.
you know what? We still are worried. To be honest with you, we will. Um, but the more, and then also when you know a lot, sometimes you take it for granted, and that's what is also. Even though now you know more what to expect, sometimes you said, oh, okay, you know what? That's what we need to watch every time.
That I might get too comfortable.
Exactly, extremely comfortable. So sometimes, and then you can go to wrong places. So that's why always check on that. That's what I would say, my advice, but also for us too. Sometimes, we don't check as much as we used to check before because we rely on you calling us when
compared to the first year.
For the first time
year.
that we were 24 hours checking where she is, and she's eating at McDonald's, today she's eating at so Dennis, wow. And then so that's why now we are more comfortable. And sometimes daddy will check all the time where you are, and when he will tell me a concern when he's worried about it.
She's usually the middleman. Like my dad won't tell me to my face, but he'll be like, "Tell Sophia this, da 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 da," and then she always tells me, and I'm like, "Why are you guys bothering me?" And he's like, "No, cause your dad, da da da." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, and then also the weather. We always check in the weather.
Yeah.
When tell Sophia that next week the temperature will drop drastically, so it's better for blah blah blah. So he always checked in advance for 10 days in advance, like if she can move around.
Also, when on the first year that I was traveling, I was very accustomed to like posting on Snapchat. I didn't have my mom in Snapchat at that moment, but I did have my brother and my friends who lived in Ontario. So that for me was also an additive security. Later on in the second year, I did add her on Snapchat, or she added her. She got a profile, and she was like able to see live what I was doing when I was posting it. Because I would send her the pictures, but it's not the same. So it was like it just things that over compared to the first year to the second year, I think we've learned so much of like how to better handle the situation. So again, she is right. Like at the second year is a little bit more comfortable, but it is also kind of concerning of how comfortable we're getting. So I was like, gotta watch out for that because you never know.
Yeah.
Because bad things happen when you're not paying attention. um, let's see here. What would you say to other parents who have daughters that would want to travel alone?
It's not for everybody. No, it's not for everybody. And then now I can see that you're committed to buy a larger, vehicle,
Yeah.
which is we are very happy for that. But it's not for everyone. I will say that someone could be very scary, and then what we are going to do if you're panic. So especially we are far now. So that's I will say that see how your daughter is she was independent, she was very independent, and then also her work also allow her to do that. That is also another thing that not everybody has it. um but I would say, so at your age probably is give me a little bit of like more peace of mind, because you're not really young. You already live alone. um and we can, but at the beginning, someone who leave the house and live independently right away, I won't say that is a good idea.
Okay.
I
So, but if like for example, a parent is asking you in the camera right now, what do you think if my daughter does this? What would be the advice?
the advice, help her. I will say that be open with her, because the more that you are against that, they will do it regardless. So it's better to be with her and then travel with her, in the sense, um, and try to help her to navigate it. What is the best for her? I would say support her, the way that we have done, and we try to do it, as much as we can. Um, yeah, I would say definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad that my mom has that understanding because she knows that if she doesn't support me, I am gonna do it regardless, and I will do it with or without her, with or without anyone's help. So I think it was better in the long run that she just went along with me in that sense, because like if she wasn't, I probably would have not talked to her or like a lot not communicated as much, and it would have been a lot more fearful or more concerning without like checking in and having that constant communication and connection, I guess, of having someone to report back to, I guess, that I'm alive. you know
Yeah.
so yeah.
No, and definitely, and I always say that I was so proud of you, and I am so proud of you to do that. And we always said it with my friends, and she has
Big balls, that's what they
yeah, I
say.
didn't want to say. That's what we said. Wow, man, you're out of norm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not very common, and I think everybody said, you know what, enjoy the life now. Everybody think that she's gonna stop one time, and they said enjoy now because you are young and blah blah blah. But she's still thinking about that. She's gonna do it forever, and I said okay. I
Yeah, not forever, but I mean like a good amount of time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the when I first were brought it up and discussing it, I was telling the last episode, I was like, I thought I was gonna do it for a year. I was gonna visit all the provinces in the 1 year and da da da, and that did not happen. I'm still like I'm about to go into my third year, and I think I probably done what 60% now, or like I feel like I'm missing so much more on the other side. So it
I
was
think it's a little bit more than
yeah,
60%.
but I'm still missing Saskatoon, Edmonton, and then I have Quebec, and then I have the islands. So I don't know.
Yeah, Quebec. Now for this because you went to Quebec,
I have, yeah.
So, but the other one, but also what I'm proud of you is like how much knowledge you get with the history, with going to all the museums, and you remember. All the museums are what I saw it in this one and I saw this one oh my god, and then I see the relationship between one or the other one. So how, wow, it's like all the conversations is like amaze me. It's like you cannot imagine, how you will be when you finish all, and then how you can, you learn more than reading a book,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah.
by your experience and to how to share. So that's what I'm so happy that you're sharing this to others, because uh it is amazing experience, for whoever wants to investigate it, the museums that we have in Canada, which is a wonderful country.
Yeah, she's always been. I mean, she's as curious as I am, and she's always open to listen to things that I find interesting in connections, especially when, like, it being Canada, right? So there's always like a correlation with the Indigenous people and how they were treated in different provinces. Some of them accepted them, some of them didn't. Whether it be immigrants, whether it be in regards to animals, whether it be fossils, like it's just so many different things that each province does a little bit differently and has their own rules. So that in a sense is also really interesting, like because I'm always hungry for knowledge. I enjoy it so much, and she's also in that way too. I wouldn't say in the exact same thing that I am in, but she's curious enough to listen to what I have to say. The same thing with her; she has her own things, and I'm always listening to the thing that she's interested in. So we have that relationship, thankfully. Um, but also it's also interesting as well, like traveling and like getting to see outside of Ontario, because we've always, like, my whole family's always been curious to, like, what is it like in Alberta, like what is it like what are the people like, what is the culture like is there like lots of multiculturalism, is there not, like what is the vibe, right? I wish I can say I know the whole thing, but I was mostly there for like the summertime, the good times, and not in the winter, so I cannot give that experience. But I think it's interesting either way, so it's cool. Um, Looking back now, would you have supported me differently, or do you feel a balance of worry and trust is right, like the first instinct, or would you have reacted differently?
um mm,
Or it just had to happen that way?
no, I think um I think um I supposed to be more scared, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly, I expected to be like, how what? How are
yeah,
you gonna do this?
yeah,
But she was not. She was calm. She was like,
yeah.
mm-hmm. She was
So
like, so what do you mean?
yeah, so that's why I think that I still, even though my age, I still sometimes I'm naive on things, that could happen, and that's why probably Carlos was,
Carlos is my dad.
was more scared because he knows more, with the bad side of people.
My
um,
dad has also traveled alone. But have you ever traveled alone?
no,
Yeah.
he used to do it when he before he met me.
Yeah.
He came to Canada single, and he was with friends, but he traveled by himself. And I always said it, I can do it, Sophia. To be honest with you, what you're doing, that's what I feel that she's not scared, and she's goal getter, and in that sense that when she wants something, and especially it's part of what you with your career, because you have a bachelor in art. Everything that opened the doors for you, is like the first knowledge when you were doing your bachelor, and then now everything that you learn, probably you see it on the museum, or you see it on the life, and that's why the history, you're gonna know a lot, more than sometimes books can teach you, especially by looking at every single one by yourself, and take the time. You take it seriously. You like to go. When I go to a museum with you, it's like it's like it's like a course, like you're like you are.
She's being nice.
Yeah, you're like when you go to school with the school, it's like you go to every single stop, and then read it and analyze it, and because you have that passion, and I think the memories, and I love the memories that she's grabbing, and all the stickers that she's getting from every museum, and also her tattoo, I think is amazing, the idea.
And my earrings.
And the earrings, the collection, and so she said it all, for the future, for to remember, and who knows where she's gonna be, where she's gonna take you. Yeah,
who knows? But she means, because I have gone with museums with them. I usually I take them along. I feel like anyways. I feel like, come along with me, because it's the thing that I do. I don't think that it's something that my dad would be like, yeah, let's go look at an art museum. My dad's not about that. My mom is a little bit more open. Maybe she would see it once in a while, but it's not something that she's like, I want to go every week and da da da. That's more me. So that's why I feel like I would take them along with me. And we've gone to 3 museums so far here in Florida, and especially with the last one that we went to, which was an art one, the one in Miami, the Perez Museum, the art museum. I'm like, give me the map. We're planning out. We have to go this level, and we have to go in the order, and we have to read. I want to read it and take your time to read it. And my dad's just sitting there going okay, are we done yet? And my mom's like, yes, because she's going with me. She's like, because this and this, and because the connection and da da da. And I'm like, yes, exactly. That's it's different personalities and perspectives, but I'm glad that you get to see that point. My dad sees it as more annoying, oh my god, why do we have to follow these rules, and it was funny. We were even cause I haven't posted it yet, but the museum we went to go see here in Florida, my dad was super not following the rules, and he's for example, I have my cup here, and this is imagine it's a piece of artwork, and he's touching it, and I'm like, Papa, don't touch it, and the security guard was saying, excuse me, sir, you can't touch it. My dad's like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's so obvious to me, but I guess I don't know, he hasn't been out that much, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, those are funny moments. I'm glad you enjoy them as much as I do. I don't usually have a buddy to go with me, so I do really enjoy those moments that my mom gets to tag along and be in my vibe a little bit,
Yeah,
So,
and even though when you videotape it and then we
yeah.
connect, and I love it when she does it, because I travel, and she tell me and she prepare me, in an hour I'm gonna go to the museum, okay, and then I leave everything, and hoping that I will have all the time, the time that
Yeah.
I can be with you,
What was one museum that you really remember that you really liked that I went to?
Oh,
I have a guess.
there were a few. I don't remember the names, but there were the few of them.
My guess is the human rights in Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's what.
That was
Yeah,
a big
you
one.
were so touchy with that, because we always talk about it, because it's kind of affecting my field, and then
She's in social work, so
yeah, and that's what I love it, and then, but there were a few too, that you were in, and they were amazing, and also the activities that you have, and the the safari, the when you went, not only museum, you went to
the zoo.
the zoo.
The kangaroo one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
kangaroo.
love that too. I love
Yeah.
it. I
It
love
was
it.
more like a sanctuary. I wouldn't say it's a zoo, but yeah, it's it was the one in BC, before crossing the border to Alberta. There was like a kangaroo sanctuary zoo, whatever the heck it is. Really nice, really nice. It was like so nice and calm. I remember calling her and I was like, "Mama, look, they're all free. They're
Yeah.
not in cages." It was
Yeah.
so nice.
That was so nice.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
so
a good
nice.
one.
Yeah.
Let's see. How has this experience affected you as a mother and as a person?
Um, I would say that as a mother is, I go with the flow, and I think that it's never too late to get to be, with the family and get, have kids and everything, right? So it's never too late. So for me, you are young, so you have opportunities. That's what I'm thinking. That in the future, I'm hoping that you will find a partner that likes exactly what you like as well, and then you both can. Um, that will be as a mother, will be like I will be more comfortable. You know, I will be like, oh, like I would say my job is done. You know.
My mom was more concerned with my love life than I am.
Yeah. So that's why, but it's never too late. So that's what my dream is. That's what my concern as a mother. You always want to have more settle. So someone, at one point you will. That's what we always think about it. I don't know when, but at one point it will.
I think you get a little bit anxious because I enjoy spending time alone too much. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
she expresses this concern. She's like, "Don't you want to go socialize?" I was like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, because you have a lot in you that you enjoy it. It's not like you are in your room doing nothing. It's like you're working. So as long as we touch base on that, I feel okay. I did. Oh no, I'm working on my videos. Oh, doing. I'm playing guitar, or I'm with my therapy. So you have all the stuff, and you keep it. So as long as enjoy the time with yourself, I'm okay. But we need to touch some time based on it.
My mom's a very social person. She says it a lot that she requires sociability to survive. I'm not like that at all, so I don't relate. I do understand that there's a balance and the reason why I only go for 6 months is because I've had enough of alone time. I would say, and I get homesick and I want to be with family, whether it be my brother or whether it be with them, because 6 months is just too much to be so not antisocial, but so, I don't know, I guess so alone in that sense. Not that I'm lonely, but it's just I'm just alone. So yeah, I think that's where my balance is. But I think she would require a lot more than that. There's even times that like I'm out and I tell her that I hear Spanish people speaking, and my mom's like, "We should go say hi," and I was like, "I'm not gonna go say hi. Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
who am I to go say hi to the random people who speak Spanish?" She's like, "But why not? Like, you can connect." And I was like, "No, I'm good."
And that is the opposite, because he said, no, you know what, they don't want to know that she's by herself, and then it's better to don't. So we are in the opposite.
Yeah,
We always say, you're right, yeah, it's true, that's
Yeah.
why they make me think about. I'm very naive in that sense, and that's why when you asked me that, it was a good question. It's like, what you're gonna change. And I supposed to be more scared of the situation when she just left, the first time. Now we are, Carlos and I are more relaxed with that sense. But at the beginning I supposed to be like my husband too.
Yeah. I full on expected you were gonna be like, "Why are you gonna do this? Like, this is not safe." And I expected her to like reject every idea, to be honest, but you weren't. So it was really surprising to me. Since you guys have been here in Florida, they have the both of them. My parents have changed dramatically in a good way, I would say. So thankfully, I mean, the stars are aligned. It's the way that God wanted it to happen.
Amen.
whatever the weather, it was supposed to happen this way. Um, Let me see here. I think this is the last question. If you can give me one piece of advice, not as a parent, but as a woman, what would it be?
Um, okay, so advice is like when you're posting this, you will get comments, and then you have to be ready. You know, good comment and bad comment, and so be strong with people, because sometimes you know, they could criticize you, or they could criticize me, you know, for posting here, and then when my idea so to be like so free of, you know.
Yeah, you could get judgment. Like,
Yeah,
how dare you let your daughter?
exactly, yeah, so that's why you have to have like very thick skin, and don't let nobody to put you down, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what my advice.
I feel like you're saying that because I do have the tendency sometimes to I don't know. I guess I am a sensitive person. Um, and it depends on like who's around me. If I don't know you, but if you end up hitting that one nerve, that one button, and I'm like, oh no, like we're dealing with this. So um, we'll see what happens. You know, when we get there.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and I don't have any control over it, and I don't want to have control over it. You know, these are I always end off my videos saying that these are opinions. This is mine. Let me know in the comments below if you feel something different. Like da da da. Have a discussion, because again, everyone has their own experiences and their own the card that they were dealt with in life. I know that not everyone is the same as mine, so I think the important part is that you get out of your comfort zone and get your ass off the bed or the couch or whatever and go do something. You know, don't be like, I don't think that we should be followed and ruled by fear, because then that's not enjoying life. Like, what is that? So, but I hear your advice. I hear you. I hear you. Do you have anything that you want to like discuss, or any questions, or I don't know, that you think would be important for a parent as well who has a child, or especially a daughter who wants to do this, or anything?
No, just, you know, I will continue just talking about this advice. Is also they could connect you. People you know, can connect you, and then be careful.
Oh, you mean like find me?
Yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah.
find you. So that's good that that you take advantage of like not doing it on the time, not posting, because the, you know, people could find you right away where you are, and then you're by yourself. So that's what that's what the most scary time. And I would say that also, you know, trust your daughter, trust your son, that you know, so a lot of people are doing this, especially this age, and don't put, you know, put them down, because um, who knows where you are going to be in the future. You know, probably this is the beginning of something really good and big.
Yeah, just touching base on what she said about posting. That was I was very adamant of like not posting publicly on the moment. I only did it with people, friends, and family. Not only just for them to see what I was doing, just out of like entertainment, but also for safety reasons of where I was. Um, but I mean, I'm posting these videos right now. I am like, it's obvious that I am in Florida. Um, but this I'll be posting this like months later, and the videos that I'm talking about my travels was years ago. So you can like, it's I made it this way so I felt comfortable posting something, and there's a big gap in between, so I can maybe look different. I won't even be at that same place anymore. Like, I can say things freely without being like, what if they watch it like next month and like they know where I am, or like da da da. So that was my own way of protecting myself, because that also is scary. And I've seen people who do it online that they did start posting it, like especially women, because the men don't do that. The men just post and they don't care, because they're the privilege of being a man. But I've seen women who do it, and they're like, I have to change. I have to post like 3 months after because it's. I've had people like come up to me and tell me that they know me and that are like alone in a van. So that's scary as heck. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think any one of my siblings would have been able to do this?
No.
Yeah,
No.
no, I don't think so either.
No.
You don't think anyone that you would think of would be able to do this? Maybe no, not my grandma. My grandma's too high end. But,
No, maybe Malena, maybe our.
oh, my cousin from Argentina went to go live in Spain. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But she will go with another friend.
Yeah, I think she would go with a friend too. I think she'd go with a friend. But yeah, I don't. I really. It's really hard for me to find someone that I know, especially being a woman who is also doing the same thing that I am. My mom has mentioned like she has like two friends or something who has like a son
Yeah.
who's done it. And I'm like, well, where's a woman? Like,
Yeah.
I want to see the woman's perspective because it's always a man doing these things. Because I get it, they're more comfortable being outside and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I can't change it. But I feel like you've had fun with me as I'm traveling. As I've said before, people always tell me that they love seeing the posts because like they're living life through me.
Yeah.
Like they can't do that, especially my grandma who right now is not doing really well. She like looks at the videos and she's like traveling with me and like especially when I went to Banff was like a really big like I was like, oh my god, Banff, and like this is such a big place. And I don't think you've ever heard Banff until I said it to you.
Yeah.
I was like, this place is like, mama, this is so well known, and like she was looking at the mountains and like Argentina is full of mountains and stuff. So it was like, oh my god, it was like right in your face, and it was just that was a really good moment. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, thank you so much for coming in here, Mama.
Thank you for the invitation. Yeah.
Thanks for squeezing in here.
Yeah. That you set up very well. So.
Oh, thanks.
I love it.
My mom is also trying to get into podcasting. I'm trying to push her to do it too because she's being a little bit chicken and she's not posting. But I've been there too, so I understand. It's a little bit. It's a big hassle or it's a big thing to overstep to get comfortable like filming yourself. As I know, I'm not as comfortable as I was. Like if I had to compare, I was like super weird with the camera when I first started, and like now I'm a little more comfortable with it. So I keep telling her just do it, just do it and get it out of the way, and that's it.
Yeah.
But I hope this helps you and gets you some inspiration to get it going.
Yeah, you always do that. You always, I follow you in so many areas, especially when I first study, and you help me a lot with my going back to school.
Yeah, she graduated.
And you helped me a lot with ChatGPT. When I first started, for me, I didn't know about it.
I kept telling her, I was like, Mama, look at ChatGPT. She's like, what is this? I don't know. And then I was like, trust me, live your life.
Yeah. So, and then you helped me a lot. So that's why I always watch you. And then, so, and I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Mama. Thanks for being a very supportive parent, I can't imagine what you went through, and I don't know, from so far away, just thinking about the hard times, and I was like, oh my god, it's something. And not that I ever thought that something was gonna bad happen to me, but I was like, who can I lean on right now in the moment when I'm so far away? Who can I depend on? And I really could only depend on myself. But at least I had my mom there to be able to talk, for her to talk me through it, or making if I was having a hard time making a decision, she was just always my sounding board, always just listening to me, which is really great. Fantastic. I really appreciate that for being my companion.
Thank you.
Very cute.
And I will continue doing it
forever and ever. All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. If you want to keep watching these videos and see when the next time I post one, because I post every week, go ahead and hit the bell button so that you are notified. If you want to, did you want to share your Instagram or something so people follow you or something? What do you want? Do you know?
Not yet.
Not yet. When the time comes, I'll be here pushing her through. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, exactly an hour. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.